Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Pastor, please right on. Can hear you clearly, loud and clear. So we are with
Okay.
our speaker for this evening's program. So I'll give him the floor to go ahead as we've spent some time.
So I can start. Can I start now?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to this program. I'm highly honored because anybody else could have chosen to do this, but I was invited. I consider it a very high privilege. Thank you so much. God bless you. This evening, we are examining the topic networking, mentorship, and building healthy and lifelong relationships in the 21st century. This is a very interesting topic, considering the fact that we are living in an age where people mainly want to have relationships that will be termed friends with benefit. That phrase really has no positive connotation. We are going to look at this evening's topic from a purely uh, Christian point of view, if I may use that expression. So, in the next few minutes, by the grace of God, we are going to be sharing this topic together. Networking, mentorship, and building healthy and lifelong relationships is crucial to personal and professional growth, especially in this 21st century. Because we are living in a world that is more connected than ever before. And of course, some people will call it global village. And relationships are the key to success. And I believe very strongly that the strongest currency in God's earth is relationships. It's very, very important for uh, relationships to be part of everything that we do. Solid relationships. And so when we're talking about personal and professional growth in the 21st century, relationships are key to success, are key to well-being and spiritual fulfillment. And the Bible teaches us the importance of relationships. So the aim of this presentation is to help us understand the concepts of networking, mentorship, and lifelong relationships. And so to explore the interconnections between these concepts, it's very, very important for us to do that. And another aim is to provide practical strategies from both biblical and psychological perspectives. It's also to identify challenges, excuse me, and how to overcome them. And lastly, to highlight the implications and benefits of strong relationships in personal and professional life. Now, let's take some conceptual clarification because there are some words that I use in this presentation that will require clarification. The first one is networking, second one is mentorship, the third one is building healthy and lifelong relationships. Networking is the practice of creating and maintaining connections that provide opportunities, that provide support and shared knowledge. It involves branding, involves communication skills, and it involves building trust. And a biblical example could be Nehemiah's networking with King Artaxerxes in Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 1 to 8. Mentorship can be defined as a structured relationship where an experienced individual guides and nurtures another towards growth and success. It includes spiritual, includes career, and includes personal mentorship. And it requires commitment, of course. It requires patience and requires openness to learning. Uh, a biblical example would be Moses mentoring Joshua in Deuteronomy chapter 31, verses 7 to 8. Okay, so as we consider these different issues, by the grace of God, we will try to be bringing in some biblical examples so that it will help us to understand better where we are going. So, building healthy and lifelong relationships, that concept means the process of establishing and maintaining strong, meaningful, and supportive connections. It requires effective communication. It requires emotional intelligence, and it also requires the skill of conflict resolution. And a biblical example would be David and Jonathan's friendship in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1 to 4. That is a template for us when we're talking about building healthy and lifelong relationships. Now, we're going to look at next, we're going to look at the dimensions of networking, mentorship, and relationships. There are different dimensions to it. First of all, we'll look at the spiritual dimension. Now, the spiritual dimension will be seeking divine guidance and wisdom in relationships. In that way, we don't just jump into relationships because we feel that this person has something that will benefit me or benefit the other person. It should be something that we dabble into because we have gotten divine direction. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens the other. So another dimension is the emotional dimension. And this means developing empathy, developing compassion, developing trust, and emotional intelligence to foster deep bonds so that relationships will not be at the surface level, but it grows on the bonds become stronger. There's also the social dimension. This is engaging with diverse communities, building social capital for mutual growth. Then the professional dimension is establishing career growth and learning opportunities through networking and mentorship. Last one we're looking at is the intellectual dimension. This is encouraging knowledge sharing, lifelong learning, and personal development. So you find that there is an interconnectedness between networking, mentorship, and building relationships. They are separate concepts, of course, but they are also interconnected because we're going to look at how connected they are. Because networking opens doors to mentorship opportunities, allowing individuals to connect with experienced mentors. Mentorship fosters deeper lifelong relationships built on trust, on shared experiences, and wisdom. So, strong relationships enhance networking effectiveness, making it easier to navigate challenges and find opportunities. And a biblical example would be Paul mentoring Timothy and perhaps Titus and the early church as well. Find that in First Timothy, 2 Timothy 2, verse 2, which illustrates how relationships can impact generations. Well, very, very important. So when we look at uh, uh, the psychological skills that we should develop as we talk about these concepts, we find that there are strategies and practical, biblical, and even psychological skills that we need to develop in building relationships. In order to fully synergize and benefit from effective networking, mentorship, and building healthy relationships in the 21st century, we need powerful skills that are Bible-based, that are backed by psychological skills, psychological strategies and skills, which are very, very fundamental to the topic under review. The first one is that we must be intentional. We have to be very, very intentional in whatever we do. It's not something we just, carelessly just dabble into. It's not something that happens by chance. It is an intentional choice decision we have to make. Because when we are seeking meaningful relationships rather than transactional ones, then we have to be intentional. It takes hard work. So being intentional means that we have to establish clear objectives when networking and mentoring. The biblical reference can be found in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24, which says, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. So we find that going into relationships requires intentionality. The second one is developing active listening skills. This one is a big challenge. Many of us don't have the patience to listen. Many of us hear what people say. Sometimes we just watch how they say them and not exactly what they are talking about. But listening is a skill that every one of us needs to develop if we really want to build healthy and lifelong relationships. That means we have to pay attention. We need to pay attention. We need to validate emotions and respond thoughtfully. We need to enhance understanding and build trust in relationships. So you find that in doing this, it also requires intentionality. So when we want to build a good relationship, we must do it in such a way that understanding and trust in that relationship will be established. And the psychological insight uh, could be that active listening reduces misunderstandings and increases emotional connection. Because most of the times, we don't listen, the person will be talking oranges while we're understanding mangoes. But when we listen attentively, not necessarily waiting for an opportunity to speak, we are listening attentively, not just hearing what the person is saying, find that misunderstandings will reduce and we'll be connecting more and more. Third one is that we must cultivate humility and teachability. And this is very, very essential for both mentors and mentees. We must allow continuous learning and growth in relationships. Now, we're talking about networking, we're talking about mentorship, and we're talking about building healthy and lifelong relationships. It's not just the relationship between friends, but this is also applicable in a relationship between a husband and a wife. So they are very, very applicable in these instances. And the biblical reference is James chapter 4, verse 10, which says, humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. The fourth one is consistency and commitment. Long-term relationships require effort, require hard work, like I said at the beginning. It requires dedication and requires regular check-ins. You must set time for follow-ups and accountability. And the Bible reference with Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 to 10, which says, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. So it requires a lot of hard work, it requires effort, it requires dedication, it requires checking up on each other. Because in a relationship where only one person services the relationship, that relationship is not going to last. One person services the relationship. One could liken it to when growing up in the village, they will share the path leading to the stream or the path leading to the farm. They'll share it for groups to clear. Now imagine that one group clears one part, one side of the path, and the other group refuses to clear the other part. You'll find that the part will will as quickly as possible begin to grow up again, begin to the grass will begin to grow again. But if the both groups clear both sides of the path, you find that the path will be clear for a longer period of time and the grass will grow evenly. And that is what we liken that to a relationship where both sides of the relationship are putting in effort. They are putting in dedication to build the relationship. You find that in doing that, the relationship becomes stronger and stronger. Of course, when you were talking about regular check-ins, we're also talking about setting time for follow-ups and accountability, checking up on one another. That means intentionality in calling, in sending messages, and so on and so forth. And of course, you can make video calls where you can talk to one another. This is very, very important because we are all very busy. Yes, we're all busy. Sometimes when you say, I don't have time, I don't have time, that's not true because we make time for things that are important. So if someone tells me, for instance, oh, I wanted to call you, I wanted to visit you, I wanted to do this for you, because but I didn't have time. What you have just told is that you don't have time for me. I'm not important. So we must make sure that there are regular check-ins, set time for follow-up, and make sure that there's accountability in our relationships. And when we do that, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 and 10, we will have good return for our labor. Fifth one is show gratitude and appreciation. This means strengthening. When you show gratitude and appreciation, it strengthens bonds and encourages mutual respect. We should be people who learn how to say thank you, who learn to say I am sorry. So when we express gratitude, it must be evident that we are not just being flippant in our saying thank you. We must verbalize it and it must show in our actions. The Bible in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11 says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up. So when we express gratitude freely, both verbally and by our actions, it strengthens our bonds and encourages mutual respect. The sixth one is utilize technology wisely. Yes, of course, we should leverage on social media, leverage on LinkedIn, leverage on online communities for professional networking, but we must use them wisely by balancing virtual and in-person interactions for deeper connections. Because we're living in an age now where in a whole family, the father has his device, the mother has a device, the children have their devices, and everybody, they are pressing their phone. They don't speak to each other. They could even be communicating in their family group chats, but they're not talking to one another. I pray that a time will never come when Albert Einstein's fear will be brought to reality when he said that a time is coming because the use of devices will come where people will be raising a generation of idiots. Because we're not talking to one another. And maybe a time will come, we will even lose the skill or the ability to speak because we want to be communicating online. So we must balance our use of social media. We must balance it. We must avoid distractions and maintain authenticity in digital communication. I could explain that to mean what is happening among young people today who make posts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth. And maybe they make that post in the morning, they put a very beautiful picture that has been edited, refined, and everything. And then they come back in the evening after classes or whatever, maybe they from work, and they want to check their post to see whether people liked it or whether people responded. And then at the end of the day, you find out only 3 people liked. That has already created a problem for some people. The depression can even set it that as beautiful as this photograph is, only 3 people liked it, and maybe nobody even made a comment. See, that is an overdependence on social media. So we must utilize it wisely because talking to people physically, meeting with people physically is more rewarding than virtual interactions. Seventh one is be friendly. Be friendly. Be friendly. Now, take note that we're talking about strategies and practical biblical slash psychological skills that we can develop in building healthy and lifelong relationships as we mentor and as we network. Seventh one is be friendly. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24 says, a man who has friends must himself be friendly. How can you expect friends when you're not a friendly person? You don't have a likable personality. You don't smile. You don't interact. You don't talk with people. Your face is always looking smoky because you, you just want to be by yourself. So if you want to be by yourself, you be by yourself. You can't have friends. So in order to be able to build relationships, you must be a friendly person. You must be someone who is easy to talk to. You must be someone who, when people are speaking with you, they know they are sure that you are listening to them. So being friendly is one of the very, very important strategies that we need in building relationships. But of course, there are challenges in building healthy relationships. The first challenge is uh, superficial connections. Superficial connection. For instance, I mentioned social media a few minutes ago, the use of social media, which creates illusions of relationships, right? A young man told me a few weeks back that he has 5,000 friends on Facebook. Friends, really? I have friends on Facebook too. I have over 2,000 friends. But out of those 2,000 friends, I'm sure that less than 50 are my actual friends. The rest, I classify them as monitoring spirits because some of them, they see my posts, they don't make comments, they don't do anything. And when they see me, say, oh, I saw your post. I saw, oh, you saw my post. So what did you do about my post? They say, oh, I just like the post, but I didn't feel like writing. Really? For some of them, right on the spot, I just go to Facebook and just unfriend them because those are not really friends. Because when somebody comes to your timeline and reads your post, they must connect with you. you know. So you find that online friendships are illusions. They are not real. It is the physical ones that make a lot of sense, right? And mistrust and fear of vulnerability. Many people hesitate to open up due to past experiences, and that's a challenge to building healthy relationships. You are afraid make of starting a new relationship because the last relationship was not a good one. So you don't want to build another relationship. That is a challenge. Of course, lack of time to make commitments because we have busy schedules that hinder deep connections. That's a challenge. How do we balance that in the 21st century? Because we will get busier and busier and busier as time progresses. Because virtually all of us are living on the fast lane. And so what you just need to pause to interact with another human and build a relationship, build deep bonds. Because when problems come, it is human beings that will stand by you. Because another challenge is generational and cultural barriers. That is where the difference of age and culture creates communication gaps. It's a challenge for many people. You know, I'm not going to go too much into that, but because when somebody is younger than you are, culture demands or culture places certain restrictions between you and that person because you need to respect yourself because we're the older person, right? But in developed countries, a young man can call an elderly person by name, but we don't do that here. We are so fixated with titles, fixated with age groups and all that having meaningful relationships between generations becomes a challenge. Of course, another challenge to building healthy relationships is ego and pride. You know, it's a hindrance to learning. Ego and pride is a hindrance to mentorship. It's a hindrance to growth in relationship. When you think they are superior to the other person and you cannot, bring yourself down to relate at a mutual level, it's a challenge. Because when there's poor networking, there's poor mentorship, and poor relationships, there are certainly implications. The first one is that there will be missed opportunities for career and personal growth. There will be increased loneliness and mental health struggles due to lack of social support. There will be lack of guidance and support in crucial life decisions. There will be weak spiritual accountability and growth, leading to stagnation in faith and wisdom. There will be struggles in career progression without mentorship and without network. These are implications of poor networking, mentorship, and poor relationships. Well, of course, when there is strong networking, a strong mentorship, and a strong relationship, there are benefits. There are benefits. First benefit is personal and professional growth. So conversely, the other one is uh, the other one is the implications. This one is the benefits. Personal and professional growth. So strong networks lead to more opportunities, more knowledge sharing, and collaboration. I was talking with one of our elders who he doesn't attend weddings, he doesn't attend funerals, he doesn't attend any program, he doesn't go for birthday celebrations. He prefers to go and hustle. And I told him, look, you don't attend people's uh, ceremonies. People are taking note of. When you want to have your own ceremony, who is going to come first? When you don't attend people's own, who will attend your own? So when you have strong networks, you have a strong social capital, and you have written a book, and you want to launch your book, that's when you know that networking is very, very important. Because who is going to launch your book for you if you don't have a network? If you don't have social capital, who is going to who is going to buy your book? Who is going to attend your launch? So strong networks leads to more opportunities, lead to knowledge sharing, and it leads to collaboration. Very, very important. It also another benefit is spiritual strength and guidance. You have a good mentor or you have a good mentee, find that there is spiritual growth and guidance. Don't forget, as I said from the beginning, that I'm approaching this discussion from a Christian perspective. All right. So it also gives us emotional and psychological well-being because when there are healthy relationships, it reduces stress, it reduces anxiety, and also reduces depression. Because you have people around you who will help you pass through those challenging times in your life. So another benefit is stronger communities and support system. We have legacy, and impact. You can see the reference in 2 Timothy 2 verse 2 that we saw earlier. Then the last one is improved conflict resolution skills. When we have strong networking, when we have strong mentorship, when we have strong relationships, there will be improved conflict resolution skills. Because our ability to navigate disagreements constructively will be enhanced because we are intentional in doing all that. And so in conclusion, I would say that building strong, healthy, and lifelong relationships is essential in the 21st century. We can't overemphasize that. Because as we network, as we seek relationships, as we mentor, as we network, as we seek mentorship, as we nurture connections, that is building healthy and lifelong relationships, we must align our efforts with biblical wisdom and psychological insights. Let us be more intentional. Let us be more committed. Let us be spirit-led as we forge relationships that stand the test of time. And as Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12 will say, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of three strands is not quickly broken. So I pray that our relationships will be built with faith, built wisdom, will be built love, that our relationships in the 21st century will grow stronger and stronger. And of course, we can pass it on to our children, because when we have built a lot of goodwill, it extends to our offspring as well. Today, when I go to places, when I mention my name, people talk about my dad, and I still enjoy it. And I hope to build the same for my children. So may God bless all of you for listening. Thank you very much. Hello, is anybody there? I hope I wasn't talking to myself.
Hello. So we want to thank our speaker for this wonderful program you've just about. And I can see here someone is asking if Mr. teacher is asking if you can ask a question. So I don't know if you can ask a question and we answer it today or some other time. Uh, our honorable speaker, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, so there's a question here, and I would like our speaker to answer. This question is, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not getting any feedback.
I can't. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you.
Okay, sir, thank you very much for the lecture. There are some questions that's been asked on the platform, and individuals would like to present them before you. So, would want to know, can you take some questions now, or would schedule another time for that?
Let's do that right away.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. If you have any questions, kindly drop in the comment section, and we'll attend to them one after the other within the next within 10 minutes. Hurry up, and then we'll take the questions. Sir, there is one on the screen already.
I can't see that.
So, okay, I'll just read aloud. Probably you can check.
Yeah, read it for me.
Okay, Mr. TJ is asking. It says, how can one get across to a moderator who is out of one's reach? He wants to know how he can get in contact with a mentor, rather a mentor who is out of his reach.
Ah, well, I don't know how that person became a mentor in the first place. If that mentor is out of reach, but if there was a prior relationship and the person had to relocate from where he or she is, um, whatever effort you can make to reach that person, you can explore all the options available. You go online to make your searches, make inquiries here and there. Um, whatever last contact address that you had, you could also check and see if you could make a link with that person. I'm sure that in the 21st century, there are a lot of ways of tracking. Unless someone has intentionally, deliberately gone under the radar, I think one can still be found wherever he or she is around the globe. But the fear of not reaching a mentor, uh, I don't think that fear is valid at this time.
Let me try and read out that particular instance he gave. Just give me a minute, please, so I can go back to the chat box.
Okay, I want to believe you can hear me now.
Yes, sir. Now he gave an instance, and the instance he said in the instance he says, for instance, I
And the
met an
questions has
author.
been asked and answered, right?
Yes, I answered one question, but there wasn't an instance. So if there's an instance, maybe that will help the response better.
Okay, so let me go ahead now with the instance. It says, for instance, I meet an author who I am very passionate about their work, and I want to create a connection with them. What is the safest manner to approach them without getting turned down? That's the instance TJ gave. Do I repeat it?
Okay. Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. If the author does not have a direct contact through which you can reach him or her, the safest way to go is to go through the publishers. When you go through the publishers will link you up and create a platform where you can communicate. If you meet the author, if you like the instance said, you met the author, you can exchange contact addresses, contact number for you to reach the person, WhatsApp or email or whatever it is. But if that is not possible and you're not able to get any way of contacting the person, the easiest and safest is to go through the publisher. So that if you have a copy, get the address of the publisher.
Thank you so much. I want to believe that that answers your question, Mr. TJ. So if you have any other question, you can drop. Speak. I would like to. Please, I would like to ask if there will be room for more questions, or we call it a day today.
It's 13 minutes to 9. We still have about 13 minutes around the
All right, notice. So you have heard. If we have any further questions to ask, please, the floor is open for us to ask our question. You can just drop the question in the comment section, and we'll read it to our speaker for this evening.
I'm seeing the instance on the screen, and I think I'm understanding the question better.
Yes, it was the former question you answered, sir.
Yeah, I'm seeing the instance. I'm seeing it now, and I think I'm understanding the question better. It's not well. I answered the instance because of the first question, but it is not able to reach them. That's why I answered. If you have contact with the author and you are afraid of being turned down, it's better to be more direct. It's better not to being empty compliments. Just go straight to the point. Go straight to the point. You have read his book and you like the content of the book and the particular areas that struck you in the book, you could bring it up for discussion and that will break the ice. And when the author finds that you actually read his book and you are discussing it intelligently, there's no author that will turn it down. And so make your request known. You want it to be your mentor and so on and so forth. If it's disposed to having as a mentee, it's going to tell you correctly. But it's better to front to back instead of going around the bush, trying to flatter. Just go straight to
All right, sir. I'm noted. So I'll make this meeting live. It's going to be live in the YouTube page. Questions, you could just drop them in the comment section and we answer them some other time or to be directly answered to you. So I want to thank our speaker for creating this wonderful opportunity for us to hear from him today. It's been a long time coming, but by the grace of God, we've done the program as scheduled. And I thank you all for joining this evening. So I want you all to have a wonderful evening. The AYM director also sends his regards to everyone for tuning in today for us to learn. And just watch out for subsequent programs coming up on this same channel. Before we go, let me check if there's any further question, then we'll call it a day. Okay, sir, please, there's this last question. I don't know if the question is clear enough, but the person is asking, like, the like there's some families not able to, if they can use WhatsApp message to reach. Please, can you send this your question again clearly? And Mr. Speaker, some persons may want to probably reach you directly. I would like you, if you could reach out your contact to everyone so they can reach you personally if they have some questions to ask directly to you.
Yeah, please feel free to. Feel free to.
So you can share your either your WhatsApp contact, okay, or your phone number. You can either write it on the comment section, or you just call it out for everyone to hear and save so that they can reach you directly.
I've sent in my number to chat.
So just 5 minutes to the closing time. I want to appreciate you all once again for tuning in to this program, and I appreciate our wonderful speaker on the topic networking, mentorship, building healthy and lifelong relationship in the 21st century. So his name remains Mr. Okan-Gbenedio Gift. So we would love to subsequently get more programs from you, sir, depending on your schedule. So we appreciate you for this insightful program. We've learned a lot today, and I believe all has learned a lot today. So please welcome everyone who may ask you questions directly or may call you if you take calls, sir, as regards this topic of discussion this evening.